Coming up on the Angus Report, Undersecretary Greg Ibach announced 4 goals USDA has for animal disease traceability. Blockchain is a new technology in the food industry, but what exactly is it? We talk with the marketing leader for IBM Food Trust Network. Mark McCully, Vice President of Production for Certified Angus Beef, talks about beef supply chain sustainability, and we check out some of the latest from the American Angus Association store, the Angus Brand. This is the Angus Report. Welcome to the Angus Report. I'm Clint Mefford. Bob Severa is out today. This week we're talking about USDA's announcement for animal disease traceability. On September 25th, Greg Ibach, USDA Undersecretary for Marketing and Regulatory Affairs, announced 4 goals for a national animal disease traceability program. The announcement was a part of Ibach's opening message at the National Institute for Animal Agriculture 2018 Strategy Forum on Livestock Traceability. He outlined the goals and said the USDA is eager to work with producers.
What we're announcing today is here at Kansas City at NIAA is a framework that we're going to move forward with here at USDA in partnership and collaboration with industry to be able to advance animal disease traceability. It's moving to be more able to exchange information electronically, to be able to prioritize the use of electronic tags, to be able to record the movement of animals interstate through electronic health certificates, and to just be able to help the industry understand how it's a tool that can be used to help the industry protect itself. So I think a lot of the discussions around animal disease traceability have been held at state and federal animal health official level, and we haven't done a very good job of helping individual producers, maybe at a state or even a county level, understand how a disease moves, what our ability to trace a disease is, how we protect them from a disease that might be happening in another part of the United States. And so I think one of the important things that we need to focus on moving forward is helping individual farmers and ranchers in rural America understand what we're trying to accomplish and how it is of value to them and their operations.
Many industry members are hesitant to support a national animal disease traceability program because of the data and information that are needed for traceability. Ibach announced the USDA does not want to own or maintain data if a national program is established.
So one of the key components about this plan is that USDA will not house individual data about producers or the animals that they raise on their farms. We're very much going to keep that access at a local level or even with the partners that they may use within the industry as they enter into value-added systems. And what we want to be able to do, though, in the event there is a disease concern and the movement of animals is important to controlling and containing that disease and protecting its spread from one region of the United States to another, we want to be able to access that information to know where animals move to so we know where to go look for perhaps exposed or diseased animals.
In the announcement, Ibach said the USDA wants to work with producers to establish a national program.
I think the model that we're putting in place at USDA is very much focused on working collaboratively with industry partners as well as individual cow-calf producers across the United States. We want to develop a system that works for them. We want to develop a system that protects them and our foreign markets in the future. If we have an animal disease and we can establish that we have controlled and contained it within a specific region or state or portion of a state within the United States, and that allows us to keep the rest of the United States shipping meat to foreign markets, it will have a big economic benefit. Initially, we would like to develop a book-in system where we record an animal's birth and then retire the animal when he's harvested or slaughtered. So I think there's a great opportunity to work with breed associations in this system. There may be other points along where the animal goes through a livestock auction market, travels through interstate commerce, gets enrolled in a value-added scheme that they would be able to help participate in making some of that data available so that in the event there was a disease outbreak, we would be able to tap into that data.
Visit aphis.usda.gov for more information. In September, the Food and Drug Administration's Center for Veterinary Medicine announced a 5-year plan for supporting antimicrobial stewardship in veterinary settings. 3 goals were established in the plan that include align antimicrobial drug product use within the principles of antimicrobial stewardship, foster stewardship of antimicrobials in veterinary settings, and finally, enhance monitoring of antimicrobial resistance and drug use in animals. The plan builds on the steps the CVM has taken to eliminate production uses of medically important antimicrobials and brings all remaining therapeutic drug uses under licensed veterinary oversight. Vets will oversee the use of all forms of medically important antimicrobials in livestock over the next 5 years. The plan also specifies labels for medically important antimicrobials will need to show duration of use for all food animal applications. In the plan, the CVM says 40% of approved medically important antimicrobial drug applications include at least one indication of use that does not have a defined use duration. According to sales data, about 95% of antimicrobials used in food animals are administered through feed and water under the Veterinary Feed Directive. All other products are administered through other routes and are available over the counter. The plan does not unveil any new regulations. The FDA and CVM will see public comments on the new plan in the future. Visit fda.gov/animalveterinary to view the full report. Blockchain is a new technology that's taking the food industry by storm. Walmart recently announced grocery chain suppliers of leafy green vegetables must use the blockchain IBM Food Trust Network by January 31st, 2019. Nigel Gopie, a leader of global marketing for IBM Food Trust, recently spoke at the 2018 Feeding Quality Forum in Sioux City, Iowa. He spoke to attendees about what blockchain is and how the technology works.
So blockchain allows you to keep information securely, privately, and also share that information with different transaction partners in a way that keeps that information secure between parties, and you can actually choose information to be shared. So it allows you to share information seamlessly, efficiently, and securely. One of the things that we're really excited about and why blockchain really matters to all of us is that blockchain allows us to have trust and transparency in places that doesn't really exist or maybe we need more of. And so in the food industry in particular, there are a lot of concerns about food safety, food fraud, sustainability, and other hosts of concerns. And part of how we can solve these issues is with trust and transparency. And we believe that with blockchain, we can bring light to problems that have plagued us for centuries.
Gopie says there is value across the chain, from producer to consumer.
So the really exciting thing about blockchain is we believe that everyone can get value. So you have your producer, your farmer, all the way down to your retailer, eventually consumer. And so a lot of cases involve the trace back of information. So how do we know where product came from? But also people at different points in the supply chain can benefit from that information sharing. And so it might be valuable for you to understand where your data or where your product ended up and understand characteristics about the consumers that might have purchased it, understand what consumers are demanding. That may actually inform your practices. We're hoping that everyone sees value, and some of that value certainly is about revenue and profitability. And so a lot of times in the food system, there is asymmetry of information. And so some parties may have more information than others. What blockchain can help us do is democratize that information so that more people have data and they can make better decisions based on that data, which hopefully will result in better businesses for different organizations and increased profit.
Blockchain uses a lot of data across the entire food supply spectrum. Gopie wants producers to know their data is safe with blockchain.
Your data belongs to you. We believe that the data does not belong to the solution, nor does it belong to your transaction partners. And so your data is held in a secure environment, and it's only shared when you want to share it. So it's encrypted, and no one can get access to that data. It only belongs to you, and whenever you want to share data with your transaction partners, you permission it. And you don't have to permission all your data. You can certainly share pieces of data, you can share all your data, and you can share data with me or your transaction partners 1 month, but then change that permissioning so we share different data or no data at all the following month. And so we strongly believe that your data is your insights and it belongs to you.
Visit ibm.com/blockchain for more information on the technology. Promoting an early breeding season and selecting the right bulls are the most important factors that contribute to profitability and economic return in replacement heifer retention. Early breeding heifers can be key to forming a superior group of females. It's important the heifers become pregnant within the first 21 days of the breeding season. Typically, females that are bred earlier in the following breeding seasons wean larger calves. Exposure to bulls should be kept at no more than 30 days, and culling those that don't breed within the time frame can help build a more productive and profitable cow herd. Additionally, bulls intended to produce replacement heifers should be born to cows that always calve in the first 21 days of the calving season. From there, producers should use genomic testing and other technology to attain their herd goals. Producers should promote an early breeding season and choose heifers that breed and calve early in the first of the year to continually reach high conception rates early in the season. Contact your local extension agent for more information about shortening your breeding season. The Food and Drug Administration is taking steps to prevent plant-based dairy substitutes from labeling with traditional dairy vocabulary. A request for information, or RFI, was released September 28th with a 60-day commentary period. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb said, quote, "The FDA has concerns that the labeling of some plant-based products may lead consumers to believe that those products have the same key nutritional attributes as dairy products, even though these products can vary widely in their nutritional content," unquote. The National Milk Producers Federation is hopeful the move stops plant-based dairy substitutes from misusing dairy vocabulary. Jim Mulhern, president and CEO, said, quote, "Just adding plant protein, calcium, and a few other ingredients to water does not make it milk," unquote. The RFI is not deterring the Plant-Based Foods Association. The group does not believe the FDA needs to be concerned with consumer confusion about dairy products versus dairy substitutes. Plant-based food advocates are threatening to sue if relabeling becomes required. Visit FDA.gov or visit the Federal Register to view the RFI. Up next, our industry update after a break. Welcome back to the Angus Report. 2018 marks the 40th anniversary for the Certified Angus Beef brand. President John Sticca announced the program sold 1.215 billion pounds in the past year. The announcement came during the Certified Angus Beef Annual Conference in September. Sticca said 40.6% of sales are in the retail division, 33.9% in food service, 16.9% at the international level. The total brand sales increased 8.1% from last year. The American Angus Association is excited to celebrate 40 years of certified Angus beef at the 2018 Angus Convention in Columbus, Ohio, November 3rd through the 5th. Visit blackinkwithcab.com for more information.
We check in now on the latest cattle market news with our market update, brought to you by Cattle Facts.
Hello, I'm Tanner Ahearn with the Cattle Facts Update. As we transition into the fourth quarter of the calendar year, prices in the beef complex and fed cattle sector are projected to encounter positive moves. When looking at the wholesale beef market, demand has been strong so far this year and should continue this pace through the end of 2018. Year to date, the composite beef cutout has averaged $212.74 per hundredweight compared to $210.49 last year. A practical price range for the remainder of the year for the composite cutout is $200 to $215 per hundredweight. The main driver will be the price of the choice rib. Seasonally, the price should improve as the holiday season approaches. This rally is expected to begin within the next 4 weeks. Federally inspected fed slaughter is expected to be near steady with year-ago levels through the end of 2018. This means the piece count for choice ribs will be relatively identical to last year. As a result of the seasonal increase in demand for choice ribs, along with similar supply levels relative to a year ago, the choice select spread should widen to the upper teens into early December. All this positive news in the packer segment will likely impact the cattle feeding sector. In addition, as fed slaughter declines into the year-end, this should improve the leverage component for the cattle feeder over the packer. Year-to-date, the CattleFax cash fed steer price has averaged $117.52 per hundredweight versus $122.75 in 2017. Fed cattle are expected to trade in a range of $110 to $120 per hundredweight through the fourth quarter, ultimately finding the highs by early December. The futures complex has already priced in the bulk of this rally when the December contract closed above $118 per hundredweight several times in mid-September. Moving into mid to late December, the fed cattle market most likely fade lower due to slower post-holiday demand. For the Angus Report and CattleFax, I'm Tanner A. Heron.
To learn more about CattleFax, your leading source for beef industry market information, visit cattlefax.com.
Next on the Angus Report, we talk beef supply chain sustainability. Certified Angus Beef Vice President Mark McCully tells us about the U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Beef. Sustainability is a hot topic in the beef industry, but producers and consumers might have different definitions for the term. Certified Angus Beef Vice President Mark McCully says providing a simple explanation for beef supply chain sustainability is no simple task.
You know, we talk a lot about sustainability. It's definitely a buzz term, has been for some time, for sure, within the trade, within our chef partners, and within consumers. I think most consumers have a hard time defining it, though.
That confusion creates disadvantages for people who market beef.
One of the dangers that has been out there for some time is not getting a sound definition of what sustainable beef production means. I think in many times a term like that could be misused in the marketplace, maybe over-marketed and lead consumers to believe that one type of production is more sustainable or less sustainable than another. I think we've always believed that to be very dangerous and really not the case at all. Cattlemen have known about and practiced sustainable agriculture and sustainable cattle production on their farms and ranches really forever. And so we really felt it was important for everybody to get together and come up with some common definitions, some common terminologies that everybody could agree upon and move forward.
On a mission to find a solution, the Roundtable for Sustainable Beef was formed.
U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Beef came together a few years ago, really grew out of a global roundtable for sustainable beef that existed even before that. And it's primarily industry stakeholders, so folks from every segment of the beef supply chain: cattlemen, cow-calf producers, feed yards, livestock marketers, and then packers and processors, and retail and food service professionals. So every segment of the supply chain that's come together with a very vested interest in defining sustainability and making progress, continued progress in this area of sustainable production. And coming up with some of these common definitions, coming up with some language and some systems that all stakeholders can agree upon will really make a lot more clear messaging to the consumer, allow that consumer to navigate that beef case and select the things that are important to them without the confusion of misleading terms or some misinformation in marketing claims.
For the Angus Report, I'm Bob Cervera.
Up next, we look at the new Angus Brand clothing line. Stay with us. This year, the American Angus Association revamped its merchandise store. The Angus Brand was launched this summer with new clothing and home goods for all ages. Katie Holdner, the association's digital content manager, has more with what to expect this fall.
Hello everyone, my name is Katie Holdner. I'm the Digital Content Manager for the American Angus Association. Today, we are really excited to bring in some of our staff and their adorable children here to the association headquarters to feature our new youth items for the Angus brand. We are really excited to debut a brand new product line at the 2018 Angus Convention coming up in November in Columbus, Ohio. So come see us at the Angus Convention. Our booth will be bigger and better than ever. We'll have a great selection of youth options, some fun winter items, as well as some additions to our Frank Murphy vintage tea line.
Baby shark! I have my 3-month-old daughter Evelyn here today, and then my almost 4-year-old son Kent. I told him he was modeling today. I told him he had to model for Mom today. And then my niece, who is almost 4 months old, and that is Ren. So they think the Angus brand clothing is pretty neat. The girls just look fabulous in their pink little sleepers, and Kent's got on a baseball style t-shirt, and they think it's pretty neat. I think it's great that our company wants our children and our grandchildren and our family to actually be here and show off this clothing. So that's really exciting for me, and it means a lot to me that the company thinks that much of us and our family. I do think that they've made a lot of neat updates, and so they've made clothing for all ages, and so that all things that all of us can wear. And then so I think that brings the family together. All the kids came in and everybody's just flocking around your children, and I think they love to see how the families have progressed and all the new additions, and everybody just loves it when you bring your kids to the office. It's a great celebration, or a great way to celebrate the Angus brand. I would definitely buy the stuff for my kids. I bought some for my kids already, so they have it at home, and I bought some for myself.
We hope you come visit us at the Angus Convention, but if you're not headed to Ohio, you can shop online right now at shop.angus.org.
We are thankful for the families that are part of the Angus brand. That's all for this week's Angus Report. We'll return next week at this time for more cattle news and highlights. In the meantime, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Angus TV, for more from the association. Thanks for joining us.